Peace family. I am so excited to be here because we're talking about birthdays. Those are my favorite personal holidays, really the major one that I hope all of us can celebrate. I am Safi. I am a member of soulcenter.com, and we are going to jump right on into it. So this workshop is from kind of a pull away from the Astro series Solar Return workshop. This is something we do go over in the Astro series. To do this, you are going to need your natal chart with astro.com. So if you don't have that, the video before this, and I'll make sure it's in the descriptions below, I'll walk you through how to meet your chart. And you can find that on YouTube, or you can go ahead to our website, soulcenter.com. So why is it called Solar Return? I remember, in 2011, people weren't using that term so frequently, but now I hear it a lot and I'm really excited. But what is a solar return? So a solar return, it notes when the sun comes back to the same sign and degree the moment you were born. Now, fun fact is that our date and or time changes every year. So we're going to see that is really cool. We are now in the realm of predictive astrology. And while I'm here, I want to note that we are doing tropical astrology. I love all of the many forms of astrology, but today we are in the realm of predictive astrology, as well as the umbrella of tropical astrology. So this is time travel. This is, my Star Trekkies, my Star Wars, my people, my sci-fi fiction folks. We are here doing this, time traveling. This is also a great way to plan your year ahead. That's probably why a lot of y'all are here. I want to know what's coming up for me. Let me prepare for that. Now, in the realm of parental astrology, I love working with parents in regards to their children's development. This is amazing to watch your child's development based on their focus of the year. So what you're going to need to do is we're picking up right where we left off. So go to astro.com. I'm actually still in the same profile that we created in that last video, the guest user. So when you come to your profile, you will be able to look at stored data. And in stored data, you will see the many lists of people or different charts you have ran. This is the one that we use for our Meet Your Chart. So I'm going to be sticking with this. So click on that. Or again, if you are literally at the end of the Meet Your Chart video, you will go ahead and be right in front of your chart. And then you click on the drawing and ascendants, and boom, here we are with that chart that we pulled up. Now, what I want you to do is make special note of where the sun is. So you see the sun. I love the sun because it's a cervix. The sex educator in me does not stop. It is a cervix. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let me get this. We see it's the circle within the circle, AKA the cervix. And it is here in the first house. So that's what I really want to make sure that you do is once you pull up your natal chart, you are going to make note of where your sun's placement is within your chart. Now I'm doing this, and if you're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, I don't know how to read this wheel, that's fine. Let's pull up that PDF again, and you can see Sun in Gemini in the first house, okay? So Sun in Gemini in the first house. Close this up so we don't get confused. So that's our natal placement. Now to do what we're about to do, which really is exciting, we are going to find our solar return chart. So let's get into you're going to go under horoscopes. You're going to go under drawings, calculation, and data. And then you're going to go to extended chart selection. So click on extended chart selection. Me, I personally I'm under this guest user profile. So it's just going to have the me one that I created. But make sure you're doing this for the right data, the right person that you want to look up, okay? Right now, we have it underneath the chart type. When you see that, it'll just say natal chart wheel. That's the basic wheel. But to do your solar returns, you're going to click on that and you're going to scroll down. As you see, it gets real sexy, real fun, real fast. So you're going to scroll down until you see this header that says solar and lunar returns. Underneath that, you're going to click on solar return. This person was born in 2017, so I'm going to make this 2018 so we can see the next year, the year right after. And they're about to be 1 year old, so we want to see what that 1 to 2 looks like. So go ahead and put whatever year you're wanting to look up. In this case, I'm going to do the consecutive year right after 2017. And you're going to click show the chart. Boom. Now, there's a lot of things we're going to note here. As I said before, this is just a made up chart, but this chart, this birthday for this person, Mimi, was June 5th, 2007. They were born at 5:05 a.m. Okay. Now, when we look at the chart now, we're going to see all this. This is their solar return chart. So this is for 2018 as we put in here. The place is going to stay the same. And then this time, the date still stays the same for this year. It's still on June 5th, but what you'll look and see is the time is at 10:57. So for someone who really wants to like do any kind of formal ritual or just is excited to know what time is my sun coming back to the exact same space, for this first birthday, it actually goes from 5:05 a.m. to that sun placement to now 10:57:33. So I love letting people know that is like, what is your actual time for this year? Because for those of us who love numerology and other things like that, we can gain a lot of insight just from seeing these numbers, right? So now let's find out where our sun was. Remember in our natal chart, it was in the first house. That's what we came in with our sun. We're first house, we run in these things. In this one, it now goes to the 10th house. So we move from the first house to the 10th house. Now, what does all of this mean, Safi? I'm glad you asked, baby. When you look at your sun and the house that your sun is in for your solar return, that is where your focus will be for that year. That is your focus for that year. So in the case of this chart, let's go ahead and look down here. What does the 10th house represent? So we come to the 10th house and we can look over here in this chart and it says social status, career, and authoritative parent, okay? So this is huge, knowing what is coming up for you. If you know that you're coming into a 10th year and you're like, I don't really want to do anything with my career this year, I kind of want to go ahead and take a year of sabbatical, knowing that this next year, working with the astrological bodies, working with your astrology is a great and powerful time to work with your career. It could be wise to just stretch out that sabbatical 1 more year. Hey, in balance, within balance. It also, again, is an authoritative parent. So it's nice to see what comes up. Things could come up around that parent for you, with just authority. It could be take your sabbatical. And through taking your sabbatical, you start to document what it is. Rest is resistance. What is it to take care of yourself? You start documenting that, sharing that with, and then what do you know? Your social status. I'm getting goosebumps right now while I'm telling this story. So whoever's listening to this and you're thinking about that, do it. Because I'm getting a lot of goosebumps. So next thing you know, you're taking your sabbatical and you're documenting and you're sharing, and this is the thing that launches your social status. This is the thing that says, hey, what's going on? So you would do that. This is me who has been, studying astrology for a while. So for someone else, this 1, 2, 3 little word description may not cut it for you. Go ahead, go to the Googles and put in 10th house. You will be flooded with all kinds of articles around what the 10th house is about. Read them, start understanding what is that 10th house really all about. It refers to my social status. It is about where we have to attend to our social lives, our work lives, our career, groupings in society as a whole. Read these articles, get a feel for what that year is going to be coming up. The same thing goes for every single one of these houses on this wheel. Wherever you see that sun for the year that you're looking into, that was the focus, is the focus, or will be the focus moving forward. So this is really quick. For the people who want to stop right here, this is so much data that I just gave you. Please take your time, especially if you're new with astrology. Research this. Now for my nerds, now I know I turned this phone on. Yeah, I had all the things off. I mean, no Wi-Fi, no airplane mode, and I'm still getting stuff. That's wild. Okay, excuse me. Now, for the other folks who are nerds like me, let's go ahead. We're going to keep going. We can do a lot with these solar return charts. So let's go back to the chart. Pop that thing on up. So that's the main thing. We know our focus for the year. Yay, it's the 10th house, it's the career, right? What you're going to do, the second thing you can do is, if you are into astrology, is click on your data chart. So you see right up here, it says PDF additional tables. Click on that. Once you click on that, you're going to see this chart and you're going to look underneath the aspects. Right here, it says aspects. Underneath here are all of the aspects that are going to affect the sun. This is the only column you need to look under. Don't pay attention to any of this stuff. Only pay attention to the column of the sun. So for people who may not know what aspects are, you can easily Google those, find out. We're only going to talk about the major ones right now, but this is going to show you, yes, I have a focus of the career for this year. My social status is a focus for this year, as well as things around my authoritative parents or just authoritative guardians. May come up for me right this year. But other little things that we can find in between here are going to shed some more light. So for instance, we see right here that this Mars is trying the sun for this year. So not only is it a great year for career with this chart, but you have Mars being like, I got you. What you want to do, Mars, the planet of aggression, of go get it, let's run it, is like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Say less, I'm on it. Ooh, this is such an awesome chart in this way. We also have Mercury being conjuncted, meaning that you have your mental faculties that are on board, that are willing to communicate. You're going to be able to sound just poised in these conversations with people around your career, with people in general who may elevate your social status. We have something squared, right? We have Neptune square. So it can also, based on what you thought may have happened or what you were thinking, your dreams, there could be some friction around those kind of things. So just to give you a little bit of insight about how knowing the aspects and the aspects that affect the sun will also give you a lot more data into your year ahead. So for my nerds who are about that, you have that, and you can stop right there. I'm giving you, this is 2 points where you could stop the video and just say, I had enough. This is great information and will last you literally a lifetime. Again, I am a super nerd when it comes to astrology. So for those of you who want to go deeper, I want to share with you some of the esoteric principles around this, okay? So this is for my folks who want this information. If you don't, pause the video, head on out. But the esoteric symbolism, and in regards to astrotheology, so I am a preacher's kid. I grew up in the Baptist church. So a lot of astrology has made so much sense in all of these things that were thrown in front of me, where I was like, some of this makes sense, but some of this is not making any sense. And so I love astrotheology and the way we can actually we can find a deeper understanding in things. I like to tell a lot of my friends who are coming out of the church or who are deepening their space in regards of their spiritual development, and I'm specifically talking about Baptist folks right here, right now, is how do they find Jesus? Tell me how they found Jesus. Everybody like, how they find Jesus? Well, the three people came, they found him. I said, how? And then they're like, a star. Astrology, deep, 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 deep in the Christian and the biblical text, okay? So with that being said, we have God, G-O-D. Everything in nature is generating, operating, or dissolving. Everything in nature, we are born, we generated, right? Two people got together, made love, we generated, we popped out of the ethers. Here we are, we operate, we have this life for however long we have this life. That is our operating stage. And then we dissolve, we transition, we become ancestors, we deceased, we exist somewhere else again. So our lives, everything in nature is in God state, right? Generating, operating, dissolving. A lot of times, multiple states are happening at the same time. So I use the example of a tree. We have a tree in fall, all right? So those roots are going deep and deep to find more warm soil. So these roots are generating at the bottom, growing, growing, growing. You have that trunk system, all of that, that's operate, like that's the operating. It is what's above ground. It is what's tall, is what's standing still. And then if this is a tree in fall, right, you have these leaves that are dissolving, that are releasing themselves. So you have these roots, you have the trunk of the tree that is operating, and you have these leaves that are dissolving. So this is all happening in one species at the same time. Our body precisely is the same way. We have cells that are growing, we have cells that are saying, hey, go over here, and we have cells that are dying. In astrology, we call these modalities. So in astrology, we call these modalities. We have cardinal, which is the equivalent of generating. We have fixed, which is the equivalent of operating. And we have mutable, which is the equivalent of dissolving. All right, girl. You said we was going deep. Yes, we are. We're going deep for a second. Just stay with me. This is going to make sense, okay? You're going to have the aha moment, I promise. So this is important when we get into the flow of wisdom. When we get into the flow of wisdom, this is extremely important. The flow of wisdom is what I'm talking about, is where our solar return charts, they have a pattern, right? They spend on average 11 years in each of these modalities. So here's the same thing. I'm just for the sake of time, I'm going to call this the generating, which we call in astrology is the cardinal houses. Then here, these are the operating houses, which we call the fixed houses. And then here are the dissolving houses, which we call the mutable houses. Your solar return does 3 spins around this. Okay, it spends equivalent of 11 years, 10 to 11 years in each of these. So 11 plus 11 plus 11, all right, gives us the number 33. And this is huge. This is huge. Let's go to the next chart, and I want you to see this in an actual chart. Okay, because we lost the video of me, but we're still here. So this is an example of the chart, and what I was just saying is 33. So I really want to talk to you about why 33 is your Christ year. So this is the same chart, and as you can see, it spent 1 year in the cardinals, then 8 years. Look at this pattern: 8, 5, 2, 11, 8, 5, 2, 11. Did that cycle, then went into the mutables for 11 years: 9, 6, 12, 9, 6, 3, 12, 9. There's a few little outliers, fixed here, cardinal here, but it did that for 11 years. Then it went to the cardinals for 9 years, and it did the same 10, 7, 4, 1, 10, 7, 4, 1, 10, and did that for 9 years. Then it did 2 years of fixed. And on your 33rd birthday, your sun comes in approximately the exact same space it was in your natal chart. So it does all of this in your solar return chart, does all this flying around, but on your 33rd year, it comes back to the exact same spot. Remember, your time changes, your houses changes, a lot of things change on your birthday, your solar return charts. But in that 33rd year, it comes back. This, I remember having to take a walk for like hours and hours and calling friends like, yo, let me tell you, because so many things started to make sense to me in a deeper way. For one, again, Jesus is crucified at what age? 33. 33 is the master number, right? You always hear about that being a master number. 33, third degree of Freemason, right? You hear about that being a huge thing. And I was just like, oh my goodness, astrotheology, the way that nature and astrology has affected religion, and vice versa, the way that religion can affect astrology. And just looking at this pattern and no matter what you believe in, look at this cycle. You go through 11 years of generating, you know what I'm saying? Getting that information. Then you go through another 11 years of operating. And these houses have a little different nuances. So even though it's generating where? In my body, then it's generating with my mother in home, then it's generating in marriage, then it's generating in my career. So you do these cycles, you can see the divine wisdom that is getting built within a person's personality to do those cycles and be like, did you get that? Let's go at it one more time. Did you get it? Let's do that one more time. Okay, I hope you got it. Now let's move on. And to do that, and then to be like, I've given you. I look at this and feel like it's the divine nature, divine universe, source creator, God, whatever you want to call that energy, being like, I've done my part. I have given you wisdom. I have shown you, I'm getting goosebumps again, y'all. I have shown you 3 times. And now we're going back to the number 3, right? I was raised in a Baptist church, y'all. So the 3 is a very important number, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But that 3, we're getting back to those 3s again. I'm giving you this information 3 times in 3 different ways. I have given you all the wisdom you need. You are on, I won't say you're on your own because I don't feel like it's like that, but it's like, come on. Because I know for some people I want to stand blasphemy, but I look at the Freemasons, it's like you should know now. You are equipped now. You have wisdom now. Going back to those 3s and 3s, 3 plus 3 is 6. And that is hexagrams, right? 666, that is carbon. You come into this world. You are here. You are matter with wisdom. 33 is such a powerful year. So I really hope that this workshop informed you through just the basics of what is a solar return, so how to look at your year ahead, past years, how to look at aspects and how they can affect that, and now the esoteric meaning behind solar returns, and especially when we get to 33, we get to do that again at 66, okay? And then for us who are blessed, 99. There are deep, deep, deep meanings in our astrology and the things that we are learning in the stars, within the stars, and within us. So if you would like to continue with this, you like, oh, this was fire shit. Like, I want to keep learning. Please join us in our astrology studies at soulcenter.com. We look forward to seeing you there. Until then, much love and continue to be the ritual.